In our previous class, we explored resting and dough relaxation and how time helps gluten relax so dough becomes easier to handle. Today, we are going to talk about something you cannot see, but that controls almost everything in pastry: temperature. Welcome to Selin Georgex, and this is Pastry Masterclass. In pastry, temperature is not just the environment, it is an ingredient. And learning to control temperature is one of the biggest differences between home baking and professional pastry. Point number 1, why temperature matters. Temperature affects 3 major things in pastry: batter behavior, gluten development, and dough texture. If temperature is correct, your dough will roll smoothly, layers will form properly, and pastry will bake evenly. If temperature is wrong, dough becomes sticky, batter melts, and structure is lost. Point number 2, butter and temperature. In many pastries, butter must stay cold. Cold butter stays solid between layers of dough. But if butter becomes too soft or melts during preparation, it blends into the dough and the layers disappear. Point number 3, dough temperature. Dough also reacts to temperature. Cold dough is easier to handle because gluten stays controlled. The dough does not stick and its structure remains firm. Warm dough becomes difficult to work with. It becomes sticky. Butter softens too quickly. Dough tears during rolling. Point number 4, room temperature ingredients. Some pastry techniques require ingredients at room temperature. For example, in the creaming method for cakes, butter must be soft enough to trap air when beaten with sugar. But in laminated dough, butter must remain cold and firm. This is why professional pastry chefs always pay attention to ingredient temperature. Point number 5, signs temperature is wrong. You will know temperature is wrong when you see these signs: butter leaking out of dough, dough sticking to the table, dough shrinking excessively, layers disappearing baking. These are all temperature warnings. Point number 6, simple professional rule. A simple rule in pastry is this: if the dough feels too warm, stop and chill it. Professional pastry chefs work with temperature, not against it. Temperature is the invisible ingredient that controls structure, texture, and layers in pastry. When you learn to manage temperature, you gain control over your dough and your results become consistent and professional. In our next class, we will explore lamination basics, where we begin building the beautiful layers that create puff pastry, croissants, and other flaky pastries. This brings us to the end of this cooking class. See you next time as we explore more of this cooking importance.